Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy Dante back again with another video. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that's been rocking with me. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to support the channel. Everyone else, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that share button so we can continue to run it up. Get your boy to 500 subscribers, man. That's nothing, man. We could do that. But yeah, it's been a minute. So I just want to say first and foremost, my apologies. I ran into a few issues on the health tip, man. And y'all know me, I'm always in the gym. I try to stay on top of my health, but I had an issue and I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm getting old. I'm getting old, man. I had sciatica. At one point, it was kind of hard for me to even sit down and record. So now moving forward, I'm going to have to, outsource a lot of my editing, just in case, God forbid, something like this would ever occur again. I'll have at least the editing process taken care of and I could just focus on the recording. But yeah, it was pretty rough, man. And, I must say, I do have a ton of content because I did do a lot of street interviews. I did a few interviews in regards to Black History Month. So be on the lookout for that video coming soon. And yeah, man, you got to focus on your health. The health is the most important thing. Without that, I can't record. I can't continue to put out these videos for y'all. And again, I appreciate everybody that's been supporting the channel. Let's try to get me to 500 subscribers, man. Let's run it up, man. That ain't nothing. That's light work. So if you appreciate and you enjoy the type of content that I put out, make sure you continue to hit the like button. Make sure you hit those hypers as well. I guess that kind of helps, get me into the algorithm a little bit more. But more importantly, though, I just want to let everybody know I appreciate all the support, all the concern as well. But today, we're talking about a disgraced New Haven, Connecticut police chief. And that's Carl Jacobson, who was just sworn in, I believe, maybe a little over 3 years ago, right? So he was recently arrested as he turned himself in. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree larceny. And you're probably wondering, what did he steal? Well, he was actually stealing money from the actual police force, allegedly. He's being charged because investigators are accusing him of siphoning approximately $85,000 from the confidential informant account that they use to kind of pay off the CIs when they're trying to gather information on whether it's drug dealers, murders, homicide, whatever type of information they're trying to get from the street. They have a fund allocated towards paying their informants, pretty much. And he was using that fund. He was using that money to basically go gamble. There's, basically allegations of him being on FanDuel and DraftKings. All those. It's a mess, man. So what we're gonna do right now is, actually, this is a picture of him leaving the state police barracks in Connecticut. So first, I'm gonna play a video of the actual news report of this incident. And then we're going to play another video of the response from the mayor of New Haven, Connecticut, and the acting police chief who has now stepped in place of Carl Jacobson. And, we're going to discuss, again, what the funds were intended for or what they are intended to be used for and what guardrails they may have implemented to prevent this type of money from being stolen in the future. So let's get into it.
Former police chief arrested by state police today. Carl Jacobson is facing larceny charges, accused of stealing thousands of dollars in city funds. Tonight, we're learning the amount is higher than expected and the theft spans several years. Amanda Callahan is your reporter live at New Haven Police Headquarters with this new information. Amanda.
Well, Aaron, the former chief had admitted to the assistant chiefs here at the department that he had stolen $10,000, and he said it was just over the last month. But the arrest warrant details, it was over $85,000, and that was just in the last 2 years. Now, some of that money is said to have supposed to pay for toys for kids at Christmas time. In early January, former New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson admitted to stealing money from the Confidential Informants Fund when confronted by fellow officers. According to his arrest warrant, in December, one lieutenant says Jacobson gave him money to pay an informant, then took it back, leaving behind an IOU note. When confronted a few weeks later, Jacobson admitted to spending too much money on gambling. He said he only took $10,000 and asked the assistant chiefs to let him replace the money and retire. Jacobson retired that day, and state police began investigating. They found in 2024 and 2025, Jacobson had taken $85,500 of city money, most of that coming from the informant fund, but $4,000 was from the New Haven Police Department Activity League, a program that funds youth activities.
It's also, I think, almost hurtful that there was $4,000 stolen that was intended for kids. That shows a level of judgment that's shocking.
After looking at Jacobson's bank account, investigators found thousands of dollars were transferred to sports betting apps. According to the warrant, he wagered over $4.5 million between two betting apps and was out over $200,000. The investigation's still ongoing, as Jacobson was the only person in charge of the informant fund since July of 2019.
I think from the beginning, we really didn't know how deep this went. Chief Jacobson initially said he stole $10,000, and clearly the number is much, much higher.
New Haven Mayor Justin 𝐂𝐿𝐿𝐿 looking for accountability to reinstate trust in the community.
How do I say he should not go to jail, right? We every day arrest people in the community for different violent crime, theft, and hold them accountable. The justice system will, take its course.
The mayor says there will be more oversight for the cash fund that pays the city informants. Jacobson is due in court on March 6th. He's currently out on bond for those two larceny charges. Now, if he is convicted, he will lose his pension.
Despicable. Despicable, right? And this is a picture of Jacobson after he was voted by the board of alders unanimously to become the next police chief, praising him for his integrity and humility and community connections. And he was to succeed at the time acting chief Regina Rush Kittle, who was quoted as saying, "Mr. Jacobson is a man of integrity." Boy, I know she wants to eat those words today. Man, listen. And you know what's crazy? Him being voted in came at a very tumultuous time for the New Haven Police Department. They were coming off the heels of the case of Richard Randy Cox, a 36-year-old from New Haven who was hospitalized and paralyzed after sustaining a severe injury to his spine while in police custody. Now, 5 police officers that were involved in the case were put on paid administrative leave. And so it was a very dark time for the New Haven Police Department when he was voted in to become the chief. And I'm pretty sure most of them assumed that they were putting the right person into the position. But man, if they could turn back the hands of time, I wonder what they would say today. But let's play a video of the mayor of New Haven, Connecticut, and the current acting police chief, David Zanelli, and hear what they have to say about this situation. And then we're going to come back and provide more details about the case and what guardrails may have been implemented to prevent future money from being stolen from the police department.
The funds help pay informants for controlled purchase of narcotics or weapons. They also go to payments for people that offer information, signed informants that provide information on shootings, murder, any kind of violent crime for that matter, to encourage those people to come forward to keep the community safe.
New Haven city leaders say one of their most valuable tools in solving crimes is their confidential informant fund. It was revealed in January that former Chief Carl Jacobson allegedly admitted to his assistant chiefs that he stole and misused $10,000 from this fund.
Some of the confidential informant funds were stolen and misused by the former police chief, Carl Jacobson. Also, the police department has a general order which outlines its confidential informant policy and protocols, and these protocols were not followed.
Now the department has come out with a special order regarding the confidential informant fund, which has been frozen since Jacobson's allegations were made public. It will allow the department to resume the common law enforcement practice of paying informants while a permanent general order is drafted.
The temporary policy is clearly enough to ensure that there aren't going to be problems. The temporary policy, as I said, is exhaustive.
The temporary policy tightens oversight of the funds with monthly internal and quarterly external audits, smaller replenishing increments, new training, and surveillance cameras monitoring the safe the funds are kept in.
The policy was clearly not followed by the chief. but there was not enough controls to ensure that there was additional oversight.
Mayor Elliker claims Jacobson also refused to allow other staff members to have any oversight of the very fund he's accused of taking money from.
All right, so let's get into some more details of this case, because although it seems like a very high-profile case and somewhat elaborate, he really didn't do much to cover his tracks whatsoever. So it says, during his final year as city police chief, Carl Jacobson allegedly lost more than $214,000 after wagering more than $4.4 million on the sports betting apps DraftKings and FanDuel. This is what he reportedly told the city's 3 assistant chiefs in January when he was confronted about the missing confidential funds, right? I fixed my alcohol problem. I turned to gambling. I don't know why it just got worse recently. So we know a thing about addicts. If you have an addict in your family, you know it's hard to get them off one thing, but they can become addicted to something else. And apparently for him, alcohol was his vice, and then it turned into gambling. Jacobson turned himself in Friday morning to state police barracks and was released on a $150,000 bond. His criminal case is set to be heard in New Haven State Court on Friday, March 6th. Now, keep in mind, if he is convicted, he will lose his pension. The warrant includes a wealth of detail about Jacob's alleged theft of $85,000 from 2 city funds, one meant for confidential informants, the other meant for the youth sports police activity league. So like you saw in that earlier video, some of the funds was to go towards youth activities. Like, it's one thing to be stealing from the police fund, which is bad in itself, but it's going to be hard to find a jury that's going to be forgiving when they find out you stealing money from the kids, bro. So in the arrest warrant, it states that around 12:30 p.m. on January 8th, the acting police chief, David Zanelli, was interviewed by the state police at Troop E Barracks in Mountville. Zanelli provided a signed and sworn type statement explaining that on December 23rd, 2025, so right before Christmas, Police Sergeant Francisco Sanchez from the intelligence unit called him about concerns regarding Jacobson's behavior. Sanchez reported that Jacobson had not given Lieutenant Derek Warner money to pay informants for November and December, which was highly unusual. Jacobson is the only person who controls, receives, and dispenses the informant's money, and then maintains a log of the transactions. Zanelli said that Sanchez was alarmed to learn that Chief Jacobson recently provided informant money to Werner, then reclaimed it from Werner's office, leaving an IOU note. The money was intended for confidential informants. Sanchez ultimately paid them out of his own funds due to the reported shortage of funds. So Jacobson took some money from the funds and then left an IOU note. You can't make this stuff up. Acting Chief Zanelli said that Werner feared retaliation from Chief Jacobson, including position reassignment or cancellation of overtime for alerting him to his behavior, the warrant states. Werner later told Acting Chief Zanelli that Chief Jacobson also asked him for a $500 personal loan at the end of December 2025. So not only are you stealing money and losing, you begging from the other officers within the department? Golly. As far as Werner knows, Jacobson has received an average of $5,000 a month from money in the NEP account since 2019. Werner does not know what is done with the remaining amount of money. Lieutenant Werner and Chief Jacobson contact each other directly to arrange a meeting to discuss the transactions within Chief Jacobson's office. A police department supervisor of management service then told Zanelli on January 3rd that Jacobson had received 2 $5,000 checks in November and 2 $5,000 checks in December, totaling $20,000 withdrawn from the confidential informant fund. Zanelli said that he, Assistant Chief Mamit Bogdana, and Assistant Chief Bertram Etienne confronted Jacobson in his office on Monday, January 5th about the missing confidential informant funds and about his behavior. Acting Chief Zanelli explained that he audio recorded the conversation in fear of how Chief Jacobson might respond to the confrontation and in fear of reprisal and false accusations from Chief Jacobson against the other assistant chiefs. So these officers were somewhat in fear of the position that Chief Jacobson had, because he would either not allow you overtime, he would reassign you to desk duty. You know what I mean? Like, so there was real life fear within the police department about even bringing these accusations to the light. Chief Jacobson admitted to spending too much money on gambling, said he was seeking help and a loan, and explained he misused funds but intended to replace them. Jacobson said that this had been ongoing for just the month. So just that month, he had just been having some financial woes. Right. Acting Chief Zanelli stated Chief Jacobson pleaded for them to let him replace the money, fix the logbook, and then retire. So that was his plan. Let me just put the money back. We're going to fix the books so it doesn't look like anything happened. And then I'm going to retire and be out y'all way. He asked for an opportunity to avoid potentially going to jail and losing his pension for misusing government funds. So he understood the consequences. He understood his actions. He knew what he was getting himself involved in. And they only feel sorry after they get caught. You know that, right? They also brought in a forensic accountant to check the books and bank statements and expenditure reports, ledger book records. So they really wanted to do their due diligence. The accountant determined that in the year 2025, Jacobson cashed 14 $5,000 checks totaling $70,000. 23,000 of that total was accounted for in expenditure reports, leaving 47,000 of NEP specific funds unaccounted for in 2025. When also taking into account $4,000 Jacobson allegedly stole from the Police Activity League, that's the money for the kids, that leaves a total of 51,000 in unaccounted for or misappropriated funds from 2025. Based upon Jacobson's banking records between January 1st, 2025 and January 8th, 2026, Jacobson made 1,366 transfers from his personal checking account to FanDuel and DraftKings, totaling $373,855. Before I go, I'm going to play a quick video of former police chief Jacobson, or Jacobson, because he was taking that money from that police department. He was on a local radio station back in 2024, 103.5, the New Haven Independent. And he was talking about how he feels like the community has trust in him. And he was telling this story. Whether you believe it or not, I'll let you decide. But just to know that he was actually saying this on a radio station, knowing he was currently involved in criminal activity, is crazy.
Yeah.
It's making a difference.
Well, just this morning when I was walking down the street and somebody I've never seen before says, "Hey, Chief, how you doing? You're doing a great job. Keep it up." So I get that a lot. And that's when I say, hey, that's who I'm doing it for. Somebody I don't even know.
Well, people really appreciate the work the police department is doing.
Yeah, this is a crazy story. I used to live in Connecticut. I actually used to live in New Haven once upon a time as well. Very hardworking people, very blue collar. It is a little rough. It's definitely one of the rougher cities in Connecticut. And for the officers in that police department to feel compelled to give up their police chief and out them in this way, whether it's for their own personal gain or they felt it was the right thing to do, I think it's going to take a while to regain the trust of the citizens. And this is why it's very important for y'all to go out and vote at your local elections for the elected officials within y'all cities, because these are the people who are appointing these type of individuals in positions of power that could be potentially stealing money from y'all one day. You know what I mean? So it's very important that y'all get involved, go to the town hall meetings and all that type of stuff, just so you can know who the people are that are going to be appointed, whether it's judges, whether it's the councilwoman, councilmen, police chiefs, all these people. Like, you really need to be more abreast to what's going on within your community, because you can't complain when things like this happen and you had no input or no say so in it whatsoever. You know, obviously you definitely going to feel some type of way because a police chief, an acting police chief, stealing from the police department is egregious. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. This is definitely one of the craziest stories that I've come across thus far. And y'all let me know, does he deserve to be brought up on more charges opposed to the 2 larceny charges that they're charging him with? And do you think that he deserves some jail time? And I kind of believe he does, because who knows how long this has been going on. You know, they're still doing more investigating. So he probably been stealing money since he first started within the police department. You know what I mean? And now after he got to a certain position, you know, it just has been highlighted even more. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate y'all once again. If y'all want to follow me on any social media platforms, all of that will be in the listing description of this video. Also, if you want to donate to the channel as well, my Cash App is there. And again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Once again, till next time, peace.